Hey, before you watch this, please hit the subscribe button.
Let's go Seattle Seahawks 37. Atlanta Falcons 9. Seahawks moved to 10-3, tied for the best record in the NFC right now with their division rival Rams, by the way. Both at 10-3. Falcons fall to 4-9 and officially out of the playoff picture. It was a close game until it wasn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It feels like, the score is like this must have been a beatdown start to finish, but it really wasn't. It was close at the half, right?
It was 6-6 at the half.
Even then, Seattle gets a turnover, Bijan fumbles it. It's still only 13-6. When did this game really get out of
So it was
control?
6-6 at the half, and then opening kickoff, Rashid Shaheed returns it for a 100-yard touchdown. So I think I can't remember. I mentioned special teams.
Here you go. So it didn't get to more than a score until 6:16 left in the third quarter, and then from that moment on, it got insane.
Yeah. So it was 6-6 at the half. Kickoff return for a touchdown for 100 yards by Rashid Shaheed to make it 13-6. I mentioned special teams, I think, twice on the preview show. I think it was Dolphins-Jets. It would have been Dolphins-Jets, and it would have been this game, where Seattle's special teams was so much better.
And both had a touchdown
return?
Yes.
There was big special teams EPA disparities in these two games. Seattle, Atlanta, Jets, Dolphins, and they both came true. In this case, it was Seattle, one of the best special teams units, and Atlanta, one of the worst. So you get the special teams touchdown, and then Darnold makes two awesome throws to Jackson Smith and Jigba. One's a 28-yard touchdown. That's when it became 20-6. Darnold tacks on two more touchdowns in the fourth quarter, Cooper Kupp, and then another nice one to JSN, and that's what turned into a 37-9 game. But it was the kickoff return for a touchdown, then the Bijan fumble.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is the Falcons in a nutshell. Not that they would have won this game, but it's a close game. But I just keep saying they've been just playing losing ball in recent weeks. It's kickoff return touchdowns. It's punt return touchdowns. It's fumbles at the wrong time. Just bad ball, man. And Seattle took advantage.
Yeah, the fact that they had kept this so close for so long, their defense, which has been kind of all over the place this year, good, bad, they were making some plays. They forced Darnold into a relatively rough-looking interception. They had him under pressure, rolling to his left, forced throw, one of those sort of it's challenged at the catch point and then ends up getting tipped and picked off. They were playing well, and they were keeping this tight, and then when it went away, it just went away fast. The Bijan fumble, that was Jaron Reed, who had only just been brought back to the team, activated, with the club on his hand, cast it up in the club, just club on the football. That's taking the punch to the next level. When
I
you've
think
got
I
the
would
cast
wear a
at
club
hand,
regardless, just for the punch. Right?
Patrick Willis, right? Just run in there. I'm going to club this thing loose. Hell yeah.
I would do that. Other things that of note here. Nick Emmanuel blocked field goal in this one, made some other big plays.
That was the play. It's the play you never make. It's the one guy off the edge who's always kind of unblocked because the chances are he's not able to make that because he has to go so far and so fast. Well, Emmanuel, the sort of physical freak show, is actually able to make that play, just gets his fingers to it, blocks it. Great play.
He is such a good athlete. We spend so much time in the offseason talking about the draft and draft trends and history and everything. It's funny because safety is one of those positions where historically I think athleticism is overrated because it's such a see the game. What do you have a term for this? Seeing the game. It's not play speed, but something with your eye discipline or something. It's such a seeing the game at the right way, reaction type of position that I think athleticism can be overrated. So then you have a guy like Kyle Hamilton who doesn't run a great 40, but he's an awesome football player, and it doesn't matter. But Emmanuel is the type of guy who's such an incredible athlete that he's making a difference, covering tight ends, playing the run, blocking punts. He had a sack in this game as well. Be careful with the stat line stuff that's out there. I saw it on Twitter, right? He had 6 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for a loss, a QB hit, a pass breakup, an interception. A lot of those plays are double counted in the stat line, but that's what he did in this game. Sack, interception, another tackle for a loss, blocked field goal. He's making such an impact for that Seattle defense. I guess my whole point in this whole thing is he's an incredible athlete, which doesn't always work at the safety position, but when it does work, you're seeing this a little bit with Cole Bishop with the Bills. You have a chance at that position to make impact plays every week, and that's what Emmanuel is doing. And Seattle didn't need that, but they still got it. Like, the defense was already great
Yeah.
without him. They got Julian Love back. They have him back. It just continues to trend in the right direction. Seattle's defense looks outstanding.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's one of the more dominant units in the NFL. When was the JSN touchdown? Was that the one?
The one in the middle of the third quarter, and then the one in the fourth quarter, I thought loved Darnold's pocket movement to hit him on the crossing route.
Was the one in the third quarter, was that the one where A.J. Terrell was an absolute disgrace on the play?
Probably. It was 28. That was the 28-yarder.
Let me just check that that's the key. It's definitely one of the touchdowns.
Just to touch, while you're finding that, Darnold, I thought, had a really nice game after the pick, too. 20 of 30 for 249, the 3 touchdowns. Him and JSN had a really nice second half. They got Rashid Shaheed 4 catches for 67. And again, I thought the third touchdown that Darnold threw, pocket movement, reminded me of other plays that he's had in Minnesota, tight red zone where he creates a little bit of space, stays calm and composed, and then executes the throw. I thought that was really nice.
So this is, it's Seattle is second 11 from the Atlanta 28, and they're 13-6 up, right? So they've gotten that opening kick return touchdown by Rashid Shaheed to put them up a score. But it's still a close game at this point, right? This is the score that really starts the rot for Seattle/Atlanta and makes the game go away from them. JSN is matched up one-on-one with A.J. Terrell on the right side of the field. It's like old school, not quite I formation, offset I, and he just runs like a small sort of dig route in behind the linebacker and ahead of A.J. Terrell. It's like, all right, fine. JSN's a really good receiver. We've seen that. He's able to cook everybody. He gets to the 14, 13-yard line. A.J. Terrell does not even attempt to tackle him. Instead, he just like swings an arm around behind him, ostensibly to punch the ball out. Doesn't get close to it. And then just leaves him, lets him walk in to the end zone. Like he's got another 13 yards to run. If he just makes that tackle, it's first down, maybe at the 12-yard line. Like you still
a one-score game.
It's still a one-score game, and your defense has been playing well. You can hold them to a field goal from that point. That is a disgraceful attempt. It's because it's not even a tackle attempt. He's just gone to swipe at the football, having been beaten for a first down. It's already a bad play, and you've turned it into a terrible play by not even attempting to tackle him. That's one of the most disgraceful defensive plays I've seen in the entire weekend.
Falcons, bad ball.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks with 2 second-half interceptions on Cousins, who finishes, by the way, he was the quarterback. 15 of 30 for 162 and 2 picks. Not necessarily on him, a couple tip passes. Kyle Pitts had a really nice game, 6 for 90.
Yeah.
90 out of the 162.
Really nice diving grab on deep ball.
Yeah, Pitts looked really good in this game for whatever that's worth. The one other thing I wanted to add here, we have to do our usual weekly draft pick update.
That was another tiny play that went against Atlanta when the game was close. Like they hit Kyle Pitts with this diving grab. Then they thought Darnell Mooney beat Josh Jobe down the sideline for a touchdown. Turns out he just stepped out whilst going past him. Like that's a 4-point step.
Yeah.
That cost them.
That was a good throw by Cousins.
It was a good play as well. It's just unlucky. Like he did beat Jobe, but because Jobe was such a large guy to get around, but in going around him, he put one step on the whitewash, and can't do that when we're reestablishing and be the first guy to touch it. It's just that's unlucky.
So as of right now, Atlanta would have the number 9 pick still, 4-9. They're tied at 4-9.
And by would have it, you mean our shipping to Los Angeles?
They would have the number 9 pick, but it's the Rams.
Yes.
James Pierce, the guy they traded for, did have his 6th sack in 5 games. Another nice.
He's been playing
rush.
Well. I mean, it's a little bit like the Colts thing. It's like it never feels good when you're not in a great situation and you don't have the high draft pick that should be headed your way. But, James Pierce has been a good expenditure of that pick so far.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good because you're 4-9 with him.
And it's not just that pick. It's like,
right.
the net of the trade, which is complicated. But if you just say, this is our first-round draft pick, it is James Pierce, you can make an argument that that's fine.
And then for Seattle, I mean, if you were story of the 2025 season, the year of elite defenses, Obviously, offenses are in there too, but you've got the Broncos and Texans and the AFC. You've got Seattle and the Rams. You could put the Eagles maybe in that bucket. What they've done over the last couple of years. Seattle's right there with a championship caliber defense. They're going to play the Colts next week with probably Riley Leonard, and then they've got the showdown coming off that short week, the rematch against the Rams at home, and then they have the Panthers and Niners. So it's just fascinating. Second straight year, right now, Sam Darnold, 10-3, tied in the same division with it. Sam Darnold just can't get away from other great teams in his own division, because last year they had that one game where it's either 1 seed or 5 seed. We might be facing something similar in a couple weeks. It won't be week 18, but something similar where the 1 seed's going to be on the line against the Rams and the loser is going to fall to the 5 seed.
And he can't seem to get away from the team that has his number. Like, not only is he in the division with a team that is really good as well, but that team specifically seems to cause problems. Like, you had the Lions. I mean, the Lions, it was more the Florida side of things. They had the Vikings number, and then you had the Rams who ruined them. And now it's the Rams just twice in the same year. I mean, Seattle honestly looks as good as any team in the NFL, but if they have to go through the Rams at any point in the playoffs, I think you would favor the Rams, which is not ideal for them.
Really quick in the chat that we're going way too soft on the Falcons trade versus, say, Will Anderson a couple years ago. The difference in that one wasn't a 3-for-1 swap.
Right.
It was next year's first, which is going to turn out to be pretty bad as far as being 9 overall. But it's not 3 players versus 1, right? There were other picks exchanged. The Will Anderson trade was 3 versus 1 versus this just being next year's 1, which is going to turn into pick number 9 or, top 10 pick, presumably here.
Yeah, and look,
but that's the difference.
I think overall.
And later in the show, by the way, I've come back around on this Will Anderson thing. Is he worth 3 players? I mean, look at what that Texan, look at the impact that him and Hunter have on that Texans defense. You could make the case that Will Anderson is worth 3 players because of the impact that he has on that defense.
I think both of us have softened on the Will Anderson thing, even in hindsight, looking back at it and saying, look, there's some value to the blue chip element of this. Now, this is where it gets more complicated, because I don't think that James Pierce Jr. would take that blue chip bucket. Like, it's not the same thing as you're so certain that Will Anderson Jr. is basically the best defensive player in that draft that it's worth paying a premium to get it. James Pierce Jr. is a significantly more risky pick than that, I think. But the cost was less. So it's it's still debatable.
And, we're not going to get into the whole thing again. We're going to rave about the Texans in a little bit.
I mean, there were more than enough red flags surrounding James Pierce Jr. that I wouldn't have made that trade. But now it's looking okay, even though one of the picks involved turns out to be a lot higher than you thought it was going to be.
Hey, guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below.